All right, everyone. Today's sexual allegation involves George Takei. It's like, am I going to have to start doing a daily series on, hey, here's a list of who in Hollywood is supposedly a rapist or child molester over the last, 24, 48 hours? Because it keeps happening. Like, we had fucking 4 different people in the last 48 hours. Now Takei joins their ranks. Now, Takei, interestingly enough, this is a person who was embroiled not that long ago. I think, wasn't it about 6 or 7 months ago? Because he made some comments, I think, on Joe Rogan's show regarding man-boy love being common in Hollywood. What he said, apparently, and like I think he said he was illegally young and he was sort of like dating older dudes. Yeah, in retrospect, assuming this allegation is true, I think we understand that there's something weird going on here. And it seems like a lot of these people have openly acknowledged in confidence to one another, and sometimes in Takei's case openly, that this is like a common thing in Hollywood. Okay, it's common. Who exactly is coordinating all this? Who exactly is playing matchmaker in Hollywood between people who are too young and too old? Between people who want to use roofies on one another? Between, some grubby producer and the barely legal model that he intends to slap in a couple B movies and then slap into his bed? Who's coordinating all this? There has got to be someone playing matchmaker in Hollywood. What's Woody Allen so fucking worried about? That would be my question. Now, of course, Takei's come out and said, no, this never happened. The claim is this is like the dawn of the 80s. He roofies some model and gropes him up while he's only semi-conscious and can't fight back. He's denying the claim. My mind is this. If there's one claimant saying somebody did something wrong, I would not want to go vigilante mode and drag them through the mud based on one person's claim, because in such a case, what if it's defamation? What if the real victim is the person about whom is being claimed degeneracy? But at the same time, like what I want, just say you have your son hanging out with George Takei and like going to the pool together. Yeah, probably not. It's called being a cautious, sane, reasonable individual. You just got to keep that in mind. But it does seem like Hollywood's unraveling. Can I just, can I make a little aside here? What if what we're seeing is Trump's doing? Because it seems like a disproportionately massive number of these people have been vocally critical of Trump. Takei certainly has, on Stern's show and elsewhere. And also, Takei doesn't help his cause when he goes on there. And they have, like, George Takei judges Cox Day over and over. Not that I see, a lot of people are like, well, Stern the Degenerate. No, he is funny, maybe less so without Artie. Artie Lang was really the capstone of the show. It's still interesting, and yes, I do still watch it, but it doesn't help his case. Visibly speaking, it doesn't help when he's doing this sort of thing. Which is perhaps a sad reflection on some moralism, but I don't really care if George Takei touches Cox, as long as he does it within the realm of consent. The claim is, though, that back then it wasn't consensual. It wasn't capable of being because he had knocked the person out. And he denies this. But Takei has. Now, Spacey, certainly, total neoliberal. Weinstein was openly fundraising for the DNC. Is Sheen on the left? I don't think he really talks about politics. And of course, Bill Cosby, I think, is right. He was like a Reaganite. Sort of like a never-Trumper, maybe you would consider in the modern... These days, he would be a marginal Democrat or something, I suppose. But it seems like any politically active individual about whom these claims are circulating, they always seem to be on the left somewhere. Now, that could be a reflection of the fact that Hollywood is notoriously, it tends to lean to the left. They tend to consider the Democrats, at least at this time, more fashionable. Back during the Civil War, probably would not have. But, yeah, they consider them to be fashionable. Now, Takei, of course, a big fan of FDR, who threw him in an internment camp. So I think that speaks a little bit to his political intelligence. But what if Trump is using a third party, a middleman, to approach people? Because, of course, he's been rubbing elbows with these people since the 1970s in a very, very high capacity. We're talking politicians, celebrities, activists. He's been literally in bed with some of these people. Don't you think he knows a shit ton of dirty laundry? I think he does. Which I think, didn't I not say that one reason he might be running is he's like, well, I'm getting towards the end of my life. I'm going to clean house before I conk out, and I'm really going to give these people the pounding that they deserve. Because he's like, Trump is kind of a womanizer, but as far as we know, he's only ever done it consensually with adults. So you can say, well, it's kind of disgraceful or weird or immoral, but as far as we know, he's not a child molester. He's not a rapist. He likes to grab models, but they consent at the time because they let him do it. And I have a problem with it because they know he's going to shower them with gifts and shit. Well, that's not rape. That's just, it's being grubby, but it's not being rapey. The allegation, though, in many of these cases is that these other people are like rapists and child predators. Except for Louis C.K. I guess when they dug dirt on him, they only found that he had a proclivity towards, calling people in while he was naked and beating off, and then they would turn and leave, and for some reason this turned him on. I guess that's what he was doing. That's not illegal, it's creepy as fuck, but it's just degenerated. It's not something you could sue somebody for, I guess. If they chased you with their boner out and they start wiggling it around like a windmill, it's a different story. But Louis C.K. stands out as having done nothing specifically illegal, I believe, in the allegations. All these others potentially are. The thing is, though, is there somebody coordinating this general revelation? I think part of it is people are more open about it. Because in the wake of Cosby, I think what happened is people realized that now we're in the internet age, a bunch of vigilantes will side with you and help you to fend off any legal, they'll fundraise for you. They will very vocally support you on social media. They will ram the story up in the news, force the legacy media to not cover it up. And so if you're making an allegation that some rich star has done something perverted, you'll be taken more seriously. In the past, though, I think the reason why people didn't talk about it in the past, and at least some of these allegations are true, like CK has come out and admitted it. Weinstein is basically admitted to some of it. Bill Cosby, of course, vehemently denies that he roofied and raped, 60 women. I don't know about that. But in the past, I think it's this. If you've been molested or raped or something by a producer, a co-star, or something, you probably have some overlap in your circle of friends with them. If you are less, therefore, rich and powerful, you probably don't want to make that claim and end up with all your friends saying, bye-bye, we're siding with the person with more money and power, either to save ourselves because, maybe we were victimized or because you're not as cool and we're the cool kids. I think there was a general prevalence of people not just shutting up and not wanting to say anything. Specifically because they were waiting for the right time where there would be enough public support to actually get through to people. Yeah, I was victimized by, Cosby, Weinstein. When you're talking about people who have 100 million, $1 billion in the bank, when you're talking about people who have their stars on sidewalks and millions of people adore them, their fans alone will be like little gadflies if you make these claims about them. Until recently, with the rise of internet activism, that is no longer a thing now. You can go in the other unfortunate direction, which is craptivism, which is you make a totally false allegation about somebody, and all of a sudden millions of people start attacking them, even though they're the one that's being victimized. Thankfully, generally speaking, the legal system can do a little bit of digging and determine whether the claims have any validity, and of course a defamation suit is going to sting your wallet a lot more than your activists will sting the other person if your claim is false and you have no corroboration of it. I guess what happens, also, and what's been happening, is that I think the victims of these individuals, they come out and they end up coordinating with each other online so that there's backup available. People are capable of saying, oh, yeah, Takei groped you up and roofied you. Yeah, it happened to me in like 79 at a gay club or something. And so you might see 2 or 3 other people come forward, assuming that there's truth to it. Now, of course, if a person has done that once, there's a good chance they've done it multiple times. There you go. All the victims can get together and say, yeah, I was at the club. I saw this. And yeah, I heard about it from a friend. And, it happened to me. And there's this other person who did the same thing. And, you wouldn't believe how prevalent it is. But you've got these, it's like with Takei. On Joe Rogan, he's talking to him. So, oh, yeah, this happens all the time. Like, there's all sorts of weird shit that happens in Hollywood. Well, yeah, there's got to be some central figure or figures that are coordinating some of this shit. It's just like drugs. The drugs don't simply magically appear every morning on the doorstep. Somebody's delivering them. Who's doing the drug deliveries? Oh, there's some central group involved, or groups, individuals, not just one. And they know about it. We've got stars come out saying, oh yeah, I knew Weinstein liked to, you know, grope people up, but I didn't say anything. I don't know why, since I'm a total A-lister with hundreds of millions of dollars, and I've got the star on the sidewalk too. I could have come out and probably saved a bunch of people, but no, I'm just fucking too lazy. And that seems to be the case. Who was it? Was it Pacino or one of these people that came out and talk about Weinstein? I don't think it was. Who? I can't even remember the name. Sometimes these people blend together. Also, Selleck's co-star the other day died, which is funny because I think I had mentioned Magnum PI 5 minutes beforehand, and then looked it up and saw, oh yeah, in the last few hours this dude died. And I was like, oh, synchronicity does exist. Take the occult more seriously. My hope, though, my earnest hope, is that Trump is draining the swamp by targeting essentially the TNC's main fundraising apparatus, which is, hey, we got a bunch of celebs that can host a gala and give us half the money. That he's going after all the perverts that he knows of through this process using some sort of middle. He's probably just offering protection and or money to people that he knows have been victimized to speak out. Hey, don't worry about it. You know, we're like the Rebel Alliance. We got our own allies and friends too. Don't worry too much about it. Nail him to the wall. Pretty soon the swamp will be gone. And, you know, maybe then people won't be raping one another in Hollywood every day. That's about all. Peace out.